안녕하세요. 제 이름은
미켄지입니다. 저는
대만에서 왔어요.
온 지 얼마나 됐어요?
사실 2년 됐어요.
한국에서 뭐 하고 있어요?
한국에서
한국어를 배우고 그리고
반갑습니다.
In this video, I'm going to be asking Korean learners what are the easiest ways to learn Korean. Introduce yourself in Korean.
안녕하세요. 제 이름은 잠입니다. 저는 캐나다 사람이에요. 저는 영어 선생님입니다. 틱톡커.
한국에 온 지 얼마나 됐어요?
1 year. 1년.
안녕하세요. 저는 미켄지입니다. 저는 미국 사람이에요. 여기에 좋아요.
한국에 온 지 얼마나 됐어요?
6개월 공부했어요.
한국어 배우는 것을 어려워요?
진짜 어려워요. 저도 중국어 말할 수 있어요. 근데 사실 한국어 좀 어려워요. 진짜.
Can you introduce yourself in Chinese?
大家好，我来自美国，我的中文的名字是郭天慈，这个是一个特别的名字，因为我中文老师给我了，所以我现在住在韩国但是就很好的。
I have no idea what you said.
저는 임선이고요. 저는 대만에서 왔어요. 한국에서 이제 산지 거의 5년 됐어요. 대학교 다니고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
아닙니다. 한국에 왜 왔어요?
I go to the uni here. That's why I came here.
안녕하세요. 프랑스에서 온 리라입니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 어레리입니다. 저도 프랑스에서 왔어요.
한국에서 뭐 하고 있어요?
한국에서 한국을 배워요.
한국어 얼마나 배웠어요?
얼마나? 1년 전 배웠어요.
네, 저도 한국에서 1년 전에 근데 프랑스에서도 처음 배웠어요. 대학교에서 아마 1학기에서 배웠어요.
저는 엘타치입니다. 반갑습니다.
한국에 온 지 얼마나 됐어요?
오 마이 갓. 얼마나
됐어요?
하나 더
한 달 전.
한 달 전. 오 마이 갓.
제가 오스트리아 온 나탈리입니다. 아니면 체리라고 합니다.
한국에 왜 온 지 얼마나 됐어요?
사실 2년 됐어요.
한국에서는 뭐 하고 계신가요?
아직도 어학당에 다니고 그 다음에 화학을 공부하기로 했어요.
혹은 한국 왜 선택하게 되셨나요?
사실 잘 모르겠어요. 한국은 좋은 나라이고 여기서 사람들이 너무 친절해서 한국어를 선택했다고 생각해요. 네.
One of the questions I get asked the most is how I learn Korean. 저는 아직 한국어 배우고 있어요 by using platforms like Lingopie. On Lingopie, you can choose your favorite Korean movie or animation, and I recommend you to choose an exact movie or animation and watch it over and over again. By doing that, you can learn new Korean expressions and vocabularies and later on review it at your free time. And by doing this repeatedly, you're going to catch up on a lot of Korean vocabularies and expression by the end of your movie or animation. Lingopie offers a 7-day free trial and discounts, and I'll have all the links right below that like button in the description and also in the pinned comment. 그럼 계속해서 영상을 시청합시다. Is it better to focus on vocabulary or grammar first when starting to learn Korean?
I would say it's better to learn grammar because with vocabulary, you can't use it. You just know words. It's like a baby just saying up, here. I would always recommend grammar, and then you can build and use the vocabulary afterwards.
I mean, for me, the reason why my Korean was able to progress quickly being here was because I already had that basis of so many Korean shows that I'd watched. So you know the basic vocabulary, 안녕하세요, 바보, the important stuff, and so when you come here, after that basis is formed, then grammar is the most important thing, most definitely, because it's the hardest thing. So if you focus on studying that, I think you'll be okay.
I think it's better to focus on vocabulary if you're from East Asian country. From the Western country, you need to focus on grammar more, I think, because there's a lot of similar vocabularies for East Asian country. We use very similar language.
How is the language back in your home country similar to Korean?
Like the vocabs, it's built very similar, almost the same because the Chinese vocab is kind of originates from Chinese. A lot of the words.
I think as a beginner it's better to learn vocabulary because you can then build up sentences on your own. Like if you see like this shop, you know it's like a pharmacy, like stuff like this.
Yeah, I think vocabulary is what we need the most because like we've been learning a lot of vocabulary in class, but without grammar you can do anything also. Like for now I'm level 4, but I still like a lot of vocabulary even though we learn a lot because we're going really fast, but vocabulary is like not really like you don't focus on vocabulary in class. It's more like grammar, but then you have to have your own vocabulary.
Oh, I think vocabulary definitely. At least for me, vocabulary is better because after you have some basic vocabulary in your brain, it will be easier to understand. You can catch some words and understand the sentence logically, in my opinion.
And how many languages do you speak?
Oh, I speak 5 fluently. Those are Azerbaijani, Turkish, English, Russian, and Ukrainian. Yeah, and I will add up the Korean. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Is it better to focus first on grammar or vocabulary?
I think like a lot of people struggle with speaking, so I would say that it's important to like learn the basics first. Also some grammar, but like not too much, because my problem is that I started to learn like too much grammar and then I didn't really know how to like make sentences, and a lot of people struggle with this. So I think like focusing on speaking as well is really important.
How long does it take to get comfortable with reading Hangeul as a beginner?
I would say if you're really determined, less than a month. However, it's all up to how often you practice. If you are a lazy learner like myself, I would say 2 to 3 months because comfort is not here yet.
Lazy learner like yourself, like what does that mean?
I do not study. I am the worst person when it comes to studying, school, anything, academics, reading, putting my head down is bad. However, I am a good listener, so K-media is really where I was able to learn, and that's what I would classify a lazy learner.
How long does it take you to comfortably read Hangeul?
Oh, one day. Easy. Very easy. It's not hard. You just have to watch the little YouTube videos and then just look at a bunch of words and practice.
And was that what you did?
Yeah.
How long does it typically take to get comfortable with speaking Hangeul?
I would say if you go to the language school here, maybe like half a year is fine. Maybe 1 or 2 years, I think it's enough. If you're gonna like master it, it's maybe like 4, 5, 6, maybe 10, even 10.
You can be comfortable in reading it like quite easy. Like for me it was like the day after I could read it, couldn't understand anything, but I could like read it. But yeah, you have to talk with people just to be sure you're comfortable, because otherwise you never get comfortable, like never.
Like Hangeul is pretty easy to learn, I would say. People say that you can learn it in like a day. I personally took a bit longer because I'm a lazy learner. But yeah, like compared to other languages such as like Japanese, for example, it's way easier.
Do you speak Japanese?
Like I try to learn Japanese, but I don't speak Japanese, but it's like one of my goals.
How many languages do you speak?
So I currently speak German and English fluently. I also know some Swedish, some Chinese and Korean.
You like learning languages?
I do, but I'm not like fluent in like all of those languages. But I love just like learning about other cultures and interacting with many people. And languages reveal a lot about like cultures and also like personality of people. So I really like to do that.
How long does it take to read Hangeul as a beginner?
Oh, actually, it took me like a week. I thought it's very hard, but it's actually very easy.
If you were to compare the Korean grammar to the languages you know how to speak fluently, which language would that be?
I think, as I know, the Korean language is like in an Altaic family. Turkish and Azerbaijani are also in an Altaic family. There are some words that are similar to Turkish, and the grammar is basically almost the same, so it's easier to compare it to Turkish.
How can beginners practice speaking Korean without having a partner?
I would say just record yourself speaking when you're watching a Korean drama or listening to K-pop or any like K-vlogs. Just repeat what they say. That's the best way for myself to practice speech. But also, if you are in Korea, to put yourself in those situations. When you go shopping, don't just online shop. Go to the store, be brave, and that's the best way if you don't have a language partner.
Well, I mean, I'd say probably talk to yourself. I did that a lot. I still do. And it kind of helps. I think even though you're making a lot of mistakes, it does make you a lot more comfortable saying the things that you already know how to say. But apart from that, definitely listening to K-drama and variety shows and normal like talking language, because when you hear it so much, eventually you'll know exactly like how to say it the normal way.
Maybe from YouTube. I think that's the easiest way to learn every language. You can like learn how the local people talk.
I've seen nowadays people speak with ChatGPT because then he answers to you in Korean, and apparently it's really good.
I haven't tried talking with ChatGPT, but I think either I do like journaling, but it's not speaking, it's just like practicing. Okay, that might sound weird, but like I talk to myself because like I'm just like trying to get more and more at ease with like, even if I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna like boil the water, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just boil the water in Korean. I just don't remember what it is right now. And also I listen a lot to the news because I'm preparing for topic. I'm trying to get the most vocabulary I can.
These days, ChatGPT is really popular, so I really recommend using ChatGPT actually. That's also what I do. It also helps with like confidence because oftentimes people are like afraid to talk to especially native speakers, and if you don't really have a partner, ChatGPT can really actually help you get better at like speaking and also explain a lot of like grammar points. Like if I don't understand something, they can like generate example sentences, and it helps me understand Korean better.
I mean, what I do is you can just go and get a street vendor, just buy something and start talking to Ajuma and Ajoshi. They will talk with you for hours. No worries, yeah.
And you do that?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
What are the easiest ways to learn Korean?
I always wanted to self-study because I wanted to know the language, obviously, but I failed every time. So my biggest recommendation is to take a class, 1000% to take a class. I know that there's online classes, virtual classes, stuff like that. But then if you're in college, if you have the opportunity to come and study abroad, I hugely recommend it. It's a little expensive, but if you really are committed to like learning the language, it doesn't matter at what point in your life you are, you can always take a class like that and learn.
How many languages do you speak?
For me, only 3: English, Korean, and Chinese.
Easiest way? Maybe just talk to Korean. Get a friend, Korean friend. Fastest way, yeah.
A lot of people tell me that they started learning with like K-drama. I think it can actually help. However, it's also important to actively study grammar with like a book, because like you cannot study everything with K-drama only. I'm not like a K-pop fan, but since I love studying Korean, I also do listen to K-pop, and if I like a song, I look up the lyrics, and if I don't understand something, I just translate it and like look up words that I don't know, and this way I can it helps me memorize the words more easily.
What is the most important aspect of Korean pronunciation that beginners often overlook?
I would say don't focus on your own native language and how you would say it, because it's not supposed to sound like English, it's not supposed to sound like French, it's supposed to sound like Korean. So kind of neglect the way you know how to speak. For Korean, I noticed that they kind of like close their mouth when they speak. In English, you open your mouth and you use your teeth and you show a lot. So forget your native language, you're learning a new language, and I would say that helps best with pronunciation.
Maybe like where the enunciation is? I don't know, it's just you have to listen very closely. Like for example, when I was studying Chinese, my Chinese professor would force us to essentially listen to a native speaker, and then for the assignment, we would have to completely copy how the native speaker is speaking, and then like record that over it, and then just kind of like say it exactly as they do, pausing where they pause, enunciating where they enunciate. If you listen to enough K-drama, I think you'll get it. We're definitely trying to figure out where the enunciation is, the pauses, and then I think it'll be pretty easy.
I would say 받침, and like some words, like the lower vowel, it changed. Depends on the later words. That's the most important one, I would say.
Can you give us like an example?
Oh, I would say the easier one, maybe like I can't do it, like 못해, it turns to 트. So that's maybe the most simple one example I can give.
Oh, 받침. We always forgot 받침. Like even now in like level 4, they always put the pronunciation. For example, we learned that word today, 인권. For example, it was like 인권이, but like the pronunciation is like ingwoni, and it's like slightly different. But if you don't get used to bachim, it's like really hard because people won't understand, and you can get a different word basically.
There's like patjim, and it's like when like two letters are combined, it makes like a different kind of sound. And it was also really complicated for me at first, but I actually ignored that at first. And as I just kept learning, it came naturally because I kept listening to people and how they pronounce certain words. And I think you don't really have to stress out about pronunciation at first. Just try to like pronounce it as well as you can, but don't focus on it too much because I think like the speaking aspect is like the most important thing.
What are some beginner-friendly apps for learning Korean?
I use the app Anki, A-N-K-I. It's like flashcards that has grammar and vocabulary. I would say Hello Talk as well. However, if you are a girl, just make girl friends. Some guys can be a little interesting. And YouTube, just watch like Korean vlogs. Anything that you're interested in, beauty, skincare, food. If you're interested in, you're more likely to watch it and learn and absorb the information.
Also K-Explorer, I guess.
100%. Look at this guy. Fluent, black, affluent, tall. Honestly, watch K-Explorer because it includes Korean people as well as gyopos as well as foreigners. So you get a full vision of everything that's happening in Korea.
I mean, I have done a few apps. One I do recommend is like Drops. If you want to learn vocabulary, it's just this really cute one. I like the layout mostly. I've heard that Duolingo is kind of bad for East Asian languages, so I don't recommend that. And the bird's scary.
Apps? I don't really know any apps. I just talk to the people, like I blend in the environments. That's the way I did.
I think in France, Duolingo is the most popular because like it's free and they make you practice every day. Otherwise, like they send you notification to practice. Yeah, I also use it myself. Yeah.
And what do you use Duolingo for currently?
But now I don't use it because I'm studying. But yeah, you can use it for, they also have a lot of languages, so it's nice.
I would say also Duolingo. I have this streak for like 1 year now, even though I don't do much right now because I don't have the time. I also use Quizlet a lot, which is for vocabulary where you can like do some flashcards. So that's what I'm using to like remember vocabulary.
Not Duolingo. Never. I started doing Duolingo, it was so bad. YouTube is very good way to start. Like if you have some background vocabulary, you can start watching some videos and like from YouTubers, Korean YouTubers or bloggers, influencers on Instagram, doesn't matter. You will start to understand little by little. You can catch a word and understand the sentence. So it will become easier and more interesting to watch it.
I only know like apps for other languages like Hello Chinese, and I think there's like a bunch of like similar apps. One app that I actively use is like ChatGPT to ask like certain words and stuff. It's easier to translate and also more accurate, even more accurate than Papago. But Papago is also a lot better than like Google Translate if you need a translator. I don't recommend Duolingo because it's like you can't really study grammar with it. Maybe if you want to like get familiar with the language, but to actively learn the language, I don't recommend it.
Well, hope you're enjoying this video. If you'd love to see more like this in the future, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. We're very close to hitting 500K. And also, if you're planning a trip to Korea in 2025, I have you covered with my guidebook in the description. See you in the next video.